"Are you lost too, mister?" asked the little girl to the lonely CEO at the airport. What he did next changed everything. The airport buzzed with the chaotic hum of holiday travel. It was December 24th, and every terminal overflowed with passengers eager to get home for Christmas. The loudspeaker overhead crackled every few minutes, announcing delays and gate changes in a monotone voice barely audible over the crowd. People rushed past each other, dragging luggage, juggling coffee cups, checking their phones. Graham Locke sat still amid the noise. He occupied a seat near a large window tucked in a quieter corner of Terminal C, far from the hustle of the central hall. Outside, planes were grounded, and snowflakes danced in swirling gusts across the tarmac. A delay notice blinked across the screen above his gate. Flight 471, delayed until further notice. Graham didn't react. His black wool coat lay draped over the back of his chair. A leather briefcase rested by his polished shoes, and beside it, incongruously, sat a small, worn teddy bear. The bear didn't match the man. Graham was the image of control: tailored suit, silver watch, sleek haircut. But the teddy bear was clearly old. Its stitching had come loose in one ear, and one button eye was slightly off-center. He held it gently, not like an executive clinging to a meaningless object, but like a father remembering a child. It was a birthday gift, one that never reached her. His expression remained unreadable, but his eyes, tired, dark, distant, told a different story. They weren't fixed on anything in particular, not the screens, not the people, just somewhere else. Maybe 5 years ago, maybe further. Suddenly, a tug on his sleeve. Graham blinked, startled. He turned. Standing before him was a little girl, no older than 5. Her cheeks were flushed pink from the cold. Her soft brown curls peeked out from under a knit hat shaped like a cat. She clutched a tiny backpack to her chest, its zipper slightly open, revealing the edge of a storybook inside. She tilted her head and asked earnestly, "Are you lost too, mister? I can help you find your mommy." Graham froze. Of all the words, of all the people, this small voice, so innocent, so certain, sliced clean through his carefully built walls. He opened his mouth to say, "I'm not lost," but the words never came. He looked into her eyes, wide, round, filled with light. There was no fear in them, just kindness, something brave, and something he hadn't seen in a long time, belief. So instead, he asked softly, "Are you lost?" The little girl nodded, but her smile didn't falter. "Mommy was here, but then I saw the candy shop, and when I turned back, she was gone. But it's okay, I'm looking for her. Want to come?" Graham hesitated. Everything logical told him this was someone else's child. Someone was probably already searching. He should alert airport staff, get security, follow protocol. But he didn't move. This girl, this tiny stranger, had reached into his silence and pulled something to the surface, something he thought he had buried for good. He stood up slowly, towering over her, but she didn't step back. She simply extended her mitten-covered hand. He looked at her hand, then at the bear on the chair, then back at her, and he nodded. "Let's find her. Together." She grinned, like she had just won a prize. "Okay." She slipped her hand into his, completely trusting, and began leading him away from the window. They walked past security checkpoints, food courts, and souvenir shops. He said nothing, just followed her steady pace. Her tiny fingers wrapped around his. She chatted as they moved, about candy canes and how her mommy always sang songs when she was scared. Graham listened, really listened, for the first time in a long while. A few people glanced at them as they passed. Some smiled, some did a double take. A tall man in a black suit walking hand in hand with a little girl in a cat hat. To the world, they looked like father and daughter. But to Graham, it was something else entirely. For the first time in years, he wasn't thinking about meetings or deadlines. He wasn't sitting in grief. He wasn't hiding from Christmas. He was walking, moving forward, and with each step, The echo of a child's voice from moments before repeated softly in his mind. "Are you lost too, mister?" Maybe he was, but now, maybe not so much. The terminal stretched endlessly, glowing under artificial lights. Graham walked beside Sophie, her small hand wrapped tightly around his fingers. Despite the crowd pressing around them, she walked with purpose, head held high. "Let's check the candy shop first," Sophie suggested, tugging his arm. "That's where I saw the jelly beans. Mommy doesn't like too much sugar, but she lets me have the red ones." They passed through a cluster of shops, each filled with holiday decorations and last-minute travelers. Graham followed Sophie's lead, watching the way she bounced from one store window to the next, scanning every face. "She has blonde hair like the sunshine," Sophie explained, "and she wears glasses when she writes. She's writing a story about a turtle who learns to fly." Graham raised an eyebrow. "A turtle who flies?" Sophie nodded proudly. "With a balloon?" "Mommy said anything's possible in stories." He almost laughed, but not in mockery. It caught him off guard, that quiet lift in his chest. "And every night she sings to me," Sophie added, swinging her little backpack. "Even if she's tired." They circled through the food court, then peeked into the airport play area. No sign of Clara. Graham knelt beside Sophie. Still no luck. She looked around, lips pursed in thought. "Maybe she's looking for me too, and we're just missing each other." "Maybe," he said softly. A passing airport employee paused, frowning slightly at the pair. "Excuse me, sir, is that your daughter?" Graham hesitated. It would have been easy to say no, but then Sophie looked up at him, eyes wide with trust. "Yes," he said quietly. "We're just trying to find her mom." The employee gave a polite nod. "Check in with the information desk if you haven't already. They might have gotten a report." "We will," Graham replied. As they continued walking, Sophie hummed under her breath. He recognized the tune. "Silent Night." Her version was off-key but sweet, just like a child's should be. "You're not scared?" he asked suddenly. Sophie shook her head. "Not really. Mommy always says, if you're lost, stay kind. Magic will find you." Graham looked down at her. "Magic, huh?" "Yeah," she said, grinning. "Christmas magic. I know we'll find her. I believe in it." There was a pause. Then, as if the words came from some forgotten part of him, Graham replied, "Maybe. So do I." And for the first time in years, he almost meant it. The security station was a blur of movement and quiet tension. Clara stood near the desk, her fingers clenched around the strap of her purse. Her blonde hair was messy from running through the terminal, and her cheeks were flushed, not from the cold, but from fear she had been trying desperately to hide. Her voice was steady when she spoke to the officer, but her eyes gave her away. "She's 5, brown curls, red coat, little cat backpack. Her name is Sophie. We were just heading toward gate 12 when she got distracted. I turned around, and she was gone." The officer nodded calmly. "We've made an announcement, ma'am. Sit tight. These things usually resolve fast. Kids are braver than we think." Clara tried to nod, tried to believe it. But the ache in her chest only grew. Across the terminal, Graham and Sophie were just approaching the main corridor again when a voice from the intercom buzzed above them. "If anyone has found a missing child matching this description." A nearby attendant, hearing the broadcast, looked at Sophie and Graham, then leaned over. "I think this might be about her," she said gently. "Come with me?" Sophie's eyes lit up. She turned to Graham. "See? I told you the magic would work." They followed the attendant past a few gates, then down a short hallway leading to the security station. The moment Sophie turned the corner, her eyes widened. "Mommy!" Clara looked up just in time to see her daughter running toward her. She dropped to her knees, arms open wide, just in time to catch the flying bundle of red coat and brown curls. "Oh, baby," Clara breathed, holding Sophie so tight it was as if she feared the world would try to take her again. "You're okay. You're okay." Sophie buried her face in her mother's shoulder. "I found you. I told you I would." Clara laughed through her tears. rocking her daughter in her arms. Then, slowly, she looked up, toward the man who had brought her back. Graham stood a few feet away, silent, uncertain. He shifted his weight slightly, as if about to turn and walk off, unnoticed. But Clara stood up, still holding Sophie. Her eyes met his. "Wait," she said, stepping forward. "You brought her back to me. I just kept her company," Graham replied. "She did all the work."